Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild. Today we're going to look at the 1 to 5 player game Overboss, published by Brother Wise Games. The game takes about 20 to 30 minutes to play. It does have a solo mode, but when we go down to the table, I'm just going to show you how to play the normal mode of Overboss. So let's go ahead down to the table here, give a general overview of the game, and we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Before I showed you the setup of the game, I just wanted to show you this really cool game trays insert that comes with the game. It's really nice. It has a nice locking lid in there, and it keeps all your different trains really nicely in there. You have your Overlord cards that you can play with. The base game of it, you won't be playing with these Overlord cards. It's an advanced variant. And you have your train selection cards, command cards, which is another variant, and your other tiles in here, your little bag for the monsters that you're going to put in there. And let's go ahead, and I just wanted to show you how nice this actually is for storage of the game. And let's go ahead back, and I'm going to show you this like initial setup of the game. Okay, to start setup, what you're going to do is you're going to decide whether you're going to play a long game. So everyone's going to get a player board. So you're going to play with the short game on this side, or the long game on here. It just has more spaces for the long game. So we'll go ahead and just pick the short game, which is this one. Then you're going to take out 5 different train types. Now, if this is your first game, they actually suggest to use the camp, the swamp, the graveyard, the cave, or the forest. But in future games, you could randomly select them. Whoops, there's a command card in there. Randomly select them by just shuffling and drawing 5 of these cards. So that's going to be how you're going to get started. Now, when you pull out these terrain types, you're going to pull out the matching monsters. You're just going to take all these matching monsters and you're going to throw them in this bag here. So there's the matching monsters with all the trains. And then you're also going to get the matching crystals that, see, has a little symbol on the little corner right here that matches the symbol of each of the trains you picked. You throw those in. You'll also get the portals, throw those in, and the little stack of mini bosses, and throw those in. You just shake that up real good, and you're going to be drawing that in a second. Then you're going to take your train types that you picked and you're going to give them a good shuffle too. You'll also add in the layer card or layer tiles, so those always go in. So you're going to shuffle that up, and you're going to place each other's player mats out, and I'm going to show you the next part here in a second after I set this up. Okay, so this is what an initial setup of Boss Monster might look like. What you're going to do is you're going to put out 4 tiles randomly. Now I got 3 of the same tile randomly, but 4 tiles randomly. And what you're going to do during your turns is you're going to select one of these and put them on your player board. So I could select this, and I'll put it in any open space on my player board. And then I would flip over a new tile, randomly get a new monster out of this bag and place it here. Here's a crystal. And the next player would select a tile. Now, some of these have special things that occur, and the game does come with a really cool quick start guide that'll get you set up on there, and then it also explains each of the tiles on here and the scoring, and each of them score differently, but you're only going to have 5, and you should probably go over these definitely for new players before you start the game. So for example, the forests, if I had the forests, for however many forests I have is how many points I get on the bottom of it. Let's see which one I have on the boards here. Okay, so like the graveyards, I would take a look in here, and each have a base value between 1 and 3 points. Okay, so it has a 1 point right here on this one. Boss with the most graveyards on at the end of the game get 5, and the second most get 2. Well, actually, sorry. With any second most get... Oh yeah, this one is the second most gets 2. Okay, some of them will have a third one, and that's just if you have any down, you'll get those points. So that's it. These ones are pretty straightforward. Some of the other ones, like I said, like the forests, depend on how many or the forests and the camps depend on how many you have, and the camps have to be unique. They have like little different flags on here, so they have to be different flags. If they're the same flag, they don't count as being unique, so you can't count them towards that score. So each of them have different scoring. You can go through that on your own later on. You also get a point if you have a matching one. So if the monster matches the terrain that is going on, you'll get an additional points for that. Mini bosses are worth 2 points if they're placed on a terrain tile. So my mini boss on there would be worth 2 points. Crystals are worth 1 point per terrain tile of that crystal type on your map. Now, if you get pull crystals, they'll actually end up to be in your layer and not on the tile itself. And portals are not worth any points. Once per turn, you may flip over a portal to reposition two monsters. And portals are another example of something that would end up on your player, your layer instead of the tile. So you can use that to position the monsters to get extra points for matching terrains. Now, if you use the bigger side, your layer is just off to the side here instead of directly underneath. Now, there's a little bit more to this, but I just wanted to show how simple this game is to explain and play. This is basically it. You're going to just be playing until you fill up these boards, the game ends, and you score. That's it. Really nice. A lot of strategic decisions on picking up those portals to switch the monsters, trying to maybe go after the ones with the crystals to get the extra points, and so on. Now, what I really like in the game is after you get a couple plays through, you can actually use a couple different variants. And my favorite variant is going to be using these monsters. And there's a lot of them that come with the game. So the way these ones work is you have a reveal ability and a score ability. So you can, once you shuffle these and hand them out, when a player has these, they're going to place them face down on their board. And they know their scoring ability, so you maybe want to leave these down as long as possible so other players don't know your benefits for scoring. But once you reveal them, you can also do the reveal bonus, which is going to, for this one, is slide one of your tiles into an open space bordering it. Any tokens on that tile travel with it. So each of them have their own reveal bonus and scoring bonus. So this is actually a really cool way of having like asymmetric powers in the game. And this is definitely my favorite way of playing the game. So you have those command tiles on there. Like you say, you can play with the short or the long version of the game. It also has command cards in the game. And these command cards let you do different things throughout the game and you earn them. Like I said, I'm not going to go over all the rules. Just these ones can do pretty nasty things to your opponent or help you out. So these are a cool alternative, but like I said, the one that I like the most is going to be using these boss cards because, I mean, it's Overboss. You should have a boss. So I like these a lot, but I will recommend that you should play through the normal game a couple times so you become comfortable with it. The other thing to mention that's cool with this game is it comes with a really nice score sheet in here. So this is really nice. It helps you also to organize it all and make sure you don't miss any points. But I like the fact that it came with a score sheet. So that is in general Overboss. There's a couple more rules to know for the game itself, but that is generally the gist on how to play it. Let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so that was Overboss. Overboss is a great game. I didn't go over the solo play of the game. I just went over the normal mode of the game and explained some of the advanced things that you can do. But in general, I do recommend that once you play through the game that you definitely play with the boss monster cards. They add a lot to the game. I love asymmetric powers in games, so that is wonderful. The component quality on the game is amazing. It's great. Everything down to the tiles, to the bag that you hold the little monster chits in, to the insert itself is great. I love how easy it is to teach other people. Like I showed, it was just basically not going over every rule, but just explaining how easy it is to go through the game and play it. So the bulk of the game is actually in scoring in this game, and the strategy is in how you manipulate your board for scoring. So that is the bulk of the game. Just teaching how to, you're just going to pick a tile and put it on your board, and then just going over each game when you select the different terrain types. Just going over what the terrain types do is really all you got to do. So I would actually consider this a game that could be played with entry-level gamers, people new to the hobby, but still be good enough to be played by people that play board games all the time. So that is a big thing for this. I think that if you liked the Boss Monster card game and wanted something different, but liked the look and feel of the game, this sort of emulates it. Now, it's not going to be like you're putting heroes through a dungeon per se, but you have that same 16-bit video game vibe going. You still have that same different Boss Buster characters that cross over. That's why it's really fun to play. One of the reasons it's really fun to play with the Boss Monster cards in this game. Overall, I really like this game, and I do highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for some entry-level games that you can get people into the gaming hobby. This is definitely one to consider. So that's my thoughts on Overboss. Thank you for watching.